Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them? Psh, more like fantastic revenue streams and where to milk them is the line I would have opened up with had this movie turned out to be garbage. But guess what? It's fucking great. Whee! In fact, I'd go so far as to say that of all the big hype blockbusters to come out this year, this is the first one to truly deliver on all fronts with what it promised. Well done, Hollywood. It only took you 11 out of the 12 months you had. Round of applause for you there, ladies and gents. We'll just forget about the mishaps, yeah? Let's just, there we go. Just hold that. Shh. Shh, it's sleep time now. Shh. It's for the best. Man, 2016 has been a bad year for, well, everything, really. Except morticians. I guess they're having a great time. But films definitely were one of the sections of the world's existence that got hit with the ugly 2016 stick particularly badly. Outside of a few exceptions, I'd really struggled to find a worthy top 5 to put together, and we're in November. Luckily, this buggers came along and saved the day a wee bit there. So Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is the latest effort from J.K. Rowling, author of the Harry Potter books, and her first attempt at writing a screenplay. It's actually set in the same universe as Harry Potter, albeit in the 1920s of that wizarding world. Despite this disconnect from the initial stories though, it was still related enough to such a big name that I had a lot of expectations to live up to. Now, I'll be honest, Harry Potter isn't something I'm a huge fan of personally, but I really truly appreciate its existence since it's kind of responsible for a lot of amazing things, such as A, encouraging an entire generation of young people to read, B, basically popularising the format of entertainment that grows up with its audience, C, practically crafting an entire genre overnight since young adult fiction wasn't really a thing before it existed, but most importantly, it D, made me sexy. Oh aye. After that Ron Weasley's cheeky little grin came about, it made my ginger and British combo suddenly very appealing to a mass audience. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm premium product now, ladies. From the bottom shelf to the top. Well, middle shelf, really. I think I fall into the fetish section. But however, who wouldn't want a piece of that fine specimen on the left there? Thank you, Rupert Grint. You are the true leader of our kind. Fuck Prince Harry. Anyway, Fantastic Beasts details the adventures of one Newt Scamander, a British wizard visiting the state of New York in a politically charged 1920s. Now, this handsome ginger British man, side note, you got a recurring theme going here, Miss Rowling, and I approve, carries with him a magical suitcase full of crazy unique creatures from all corners of the earth as he attempts to research them and write a book called, you guessed it, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. His adventures don't go so smoothly, however, as after an accidental encounter with a non-wizarding type sees him mix up his suitcase, the animals he catches escape and wreak havoc in the everyday of New York City, causing him to be in trouble with law and forcing him into a scenario where he, the non-wizard, the witch who arrested him, and her sister have to tour the state in a Harry Potter meets Ghostbusters-style adventure caper as they try to recapture all of the escaped beasts. All this action is set against the backdrop of rising political tensions as the magical world is struggling to keep itself hidden from the everyday one, and a war between the two looks like a possibility on the horizon, especially with the surreal rise of a non-magic wizard-hating hate group that's not too dissimilar to the Westboro Baptist Church. Except these people only hate wizards and witches, which, even in the real world, would actually make them less insane. It's a complex setup, one that could risk alienating those not familiar with the original Harry Potter materials, but holy shit do they pull it off. It manages to make some really smart decisions. I mean, just look at the director, David Yates. Now, if anyone knows how to make a good film set in the Harry Potter universe, it is definitely Alfonso Cuarón, because Prisoner of Azkaban is the best one, and if you disagree with that, I'll fucking fight you on it, mate. But an excellent second choice would be David Yates, who directed the final 4 films in the series, and he did a really stellar job with the last one, so he's competent in the universe, and it shows here. He knows what makes the world's magic. He's got a real eye for detail and natural whimsy and enchantment. He knows when the characters stand in awe of their surroundings and settings to pull the camera back so the audience is sat in awe with them. He makes the world feel as enchanting as it should be. And yet this is the same man that made Legend of Tarzan. Come here, buddy. Come here. Shh. Add to that, you've got some really stellar performances from everyone here. Eddie Redmayne is brilliant as the casually awkward animal-loving lead. Catherine Waterston is fantastically likeable as the shamed ex-witch policewoman Goldstein. Alison Sudol catches all of that great Gatsby-esque 1920s flapper subculture in her performance as Catherine's on-screen sister Queenie. Colin Farrell delivers a subtle and menacing performance as Detective Graves, and Ezra Miller channels some of that unsettling mental damage he used so well to scare the shit out of me into never having kids ever in We Need to Talk About Kevin. My personal favourite though was Dan Fogler, who instantly resonates with a hapless charm as Jacob Kowalski. He basically acts as an anchor for the audience, the guy who asks questions to the witches and wizards so they can explain what's going on to those of us at home, but never does he feel like a vehicle for exposition. Rather, he's actually the most fun member of the whole cast. His comedy always lands with perfect timing, his delivery is engaging, and the heart at the core of the character really shines through all the way to the end. I think the film's even kind of aware that this is the guy we're invested in, as even though it's not his story, he's given the honour of the nice emotional final parting shot. Smart writing there on Rowling's behalf. The characters are enhanced not just by the performances too, as although they are stellar, the actual protagonists themselves are, well, really good characters. And I'll tell you why. They're all shit. They're all really incompetent, useless, struggling fools, and man, that's good. The stakes are way higher when your main crew are pretty naff at their jobs. Newt lets all of his beasts escape around New York City, Goldstein is always getting herself in trouble with work, her sister Queenie is kinda ditzy, Jacob just kinda bumbles along for the whole ride. It's brilliant. I don't want my heroes to be absolutely amazing from the get-go, I want them to be crap, like me. I can't relate to Master Surgeon Doctor Strange. I'm not a smart, confident, wise-cracking velociraptor tamer like Chris Pratt. I'm not a super genius like Tony Stark or Batman. Almost no audiences. But I'll tell you what I am. Ginger, British, and useless at my job. You're my boy, Scamander. Me and you till the end. I really like when heroes kinda suck a little bit, because it's much more interesting to me to have a dynamic where the audience can see them as the underdogs. Stories are made from struggle, journey, and change after all, and you get way more of that when some little crew of misfits goes against a villain who far outpowers and outclasses them than you get from a titan smashing through cannon fodder. Fantastic Beasts gets this, and it gets it good. Other than the fact that 3 of them are wizards, the main crew could be anyone off the street, which works amazingly. Whereas if you remove the wizard element from the villain, he'd still be a handsome, high-ranking official in a prestigious government job. Which, I don't know about you guys, but I don't got my life all together all that much. If I had to pick fault with the film though, which I kinda do because I'm a nitpicky bastard, I'd say it can't quite decide whether it wants to be a fun monster hunt film or a political magical thriller. Fortunately, I like both sides of it enough to not care too much, but I did occasionally notice whiplash-inducing tonal shifts. For example, and I'll keep the language spoiler free here, there's a sequence of events where Newty Boy is just all like, gonna catch me some lava rhinos and shit, and it's all dorky and capery and fun. Then the next scene it's all like, shit, people are dying and crap, fuck, stakes raised, only to then return to Newt going all la-di-da, let's catch a dragon in a teapot and shit, and it's a bit of a drastic change in atmosphere that kinda has you thinking, Newt mate, and the shits and giggles scenes are canny and stuff, but threat of death looming over everyone's shoulder. You wanna address that, mate? Nah. Okay, you keep carrying on climbing into your suitcase there, bud. You do you, mate. It's not like lives are at risk or anything. Fucking ginger twat. That said, although it kind of dances back and forth between the two atmospheres and genres, it does both so well that I really would say I am nitpicking here. If anything, there's only really one major problem with it, and that's that there isn't more handsome ginger British men in it. I mean, Newt doesn't even look ginger in some of the shots. I just feel after you put all that work in for us, Rowling, you're letting the game slip here. Perhaps you should make Newt more ginger in the sequel. Maybe, just maybe, give him a British ginger sidekick, aye? Perhaps one that reviews movies online. You know, maybe somebody who is, prone to wearing Superman shirts with John Cena caps. I hear that's the in-look this season. Just putting it out there, but if you want to hit me up for that role, Rowling, get the ball rolling on this one, you can tweet at Geeky Glasses TV, and just for clarity, yes, I am willing to do full frontal nudity. Don't want to get too lowbrow, but all I'm saying is if I grow out the fiery beasts downstairs, I can tell you now, it looks exactly like the end in a Chamber of Secrets when the basilisk is in mid-battle with the phoenix. I could save you loads on CG. I'm just saying.